everyone, before you watch this video, make sure you've seen the previous parts, the links will be in the description. Before we start, I just want to say that I'm really sorry for how late this video is. After the last part I got stupid writer's block and was really struggling to write this for a couple weeks. But just as I thought I was able to get back into it and managed to write most of this video, I then had a really awful experience that has affected me so badly. After so much therapy and thinking that I was doing a lot better, I feel like I'm right back at square one, and on top of that I came down with some super shitty sickness, so yeah, I once again shut down and couldn't seem to finish writing this video. I'm sorry. I really appreciate everyone who commented such lovely things on the community posts I've made, and I hope the rest of you now understand why I disappeared for this long. Now finally, we can get on to the video. How did it go? Amazing? I told Mirko-san I wanted to work on the series and she thought it was a great choice. She reached out and they got back to her literally while I was still in the meeting. I don't even need to audition or anything, they just outright gave me the role. I'm meeting the director and some other people involved on Thursday, just a few days away. I'm so excited to find out who my co-star will be this time. That's great. KATSUKI wanted to congratulate him, but the words got caught in his throat as he gripped the steering wheel a little tighter. They were on their way to the gym after IZUKU's meeting with his agency, just as KATSUKI had promised the day before, and despite his initial hesitance, he had begun to look forward to this. You better get your energy up, mister. What? I'm gonna be totally fired up. You gotta show some enthusiasm as my personal trainer. I'm not your personal trainer. I agreed to work out with you, but I haven't been to the gym in so long, I'm still gonna need some guidance. Yeesh, so needy. Obviously. They made it to the gym and IZUKU got out the car without waiting for KATSUKI, as usual, which made the blonde man march round and tug his hood over his head with a roll of his eyes. How are you still so terrible at this shit? We're gonna go into the private area anyway. Even if I get recognized they can't follow us in there, so who cares? I'd rather not get swarmed on our way out. Alright, I'm totally incognito, let's go. He grabbed KATSUKI's arm and pulled him toward the building. The stronger man could have easily shrugged him off, but why would he? He'd given up lying to himself at this point. He enjoyed being close to IZUKU. Hi, good afternoon. Oh my, good afternoon. Would it be okay if we went upstairs? Of course. Let me just unlock it. Nobody else has had to use it in a while. They followed the lady to the back where she unlocked a door to reveal a staircase. Thank you. Enjoy your time. I am a really big fan, by the way. Thank you so much. He grinned sweetly before reaching back to grab KATSUKI's arm again and drag him up the stairs. I can walk on my own, you know. I know, but I wanted to hold your big beefy arm. Just getting an idea of how I'm gonna look after this. Good luck with that one. Maybe if you keep at it for like 3 years, sunshine. What, like working out once a year? Try every day. Ugh, I'm too famous for that. Shut up. Besides, honestly, I don't think the big macho look would suit me. Don't I look better cute? Did you max out your confidence skill or something? Look, I knew I had to have confidence going into this today because I'm about to make an absolute fool of myself. Pfft, what are we starting with then? I don't know. You're the gym guy, you tell me. We'll start with some stretches. You're gonna need to warm up first. He looked around the room and spotted the big open space with mats on the ground, bypassing all the weights and machines to lead IZUKU over there. I'm no yoga instructor, alright, but just, you know, basic stretches, right? Like squats and stuff? That is one, yes. Sigh, just copy me. I thought you said you weren't gonna be my personal trainer? Don't push your luck or I'll just sit and watch you struggle. Alright, I'll be quiet. He bit down on his lip to stifle his grin as he began mirroring KATSUKI's movements, lifting his legs one by one and bending his body every which way. KATSUKI preferred working out alone. He'd been to the gym with Kirishima a fair few times, but even then they mostly kept to themselves, so this experience was definitely new. Standing face to face with IZUKU and knowing that the man was scrutinizing his every movement, watching him so intently to ensure he was completing the stretches correctly, KATSUKI could feel himself getting a little flustered. You're getting hot already? I thought you did this all the time? Well, obviously it's not from the stretching. Why are you all red then? Even I'm not getting tired yet. You're staring at me? I didn't think this through. Are you embarrassed? Worried you'll mess up in front of me? No? How could I mess up stretching? Maybe you would, but obviously. Then if you're not worried, why are you getting so shy? Shut up, we've stretched enough, come over here. He huffed and changed the subject, walking over to the shoulder press machine and gathering up some weights. I'll show you how this one works first. IZUKU watched him slide on enough weights to add up to 100 kilos, making his eyes widen as KATSUKI sat in the seat and adjusted his grip on the handles. Wait, you're starting with that? Don't people usually start lighter and build up a little? This is me starting lighter, he replied with a slight frown, as if genuinely confused by the other man's concern, before he began pulling down the machine's arms like it was nothing, letting out steady breaths every time he released the weights at the top. IZUKU watched in awe, his wide eyes glued to the way KATSUKI's biceps and shoulders bulged with each rep. He literally had to gulp down the saliva pooling in his mouth. That's really impressive. I'm still just warming up, but here, you give it a try. He stood up and gestured for IZUKU to sit down, making the freckled man freeze in panic. I can't lift that. Obviously not. I'll remove some of the weight. Oh, I see. He ended up taking off majority of the weights, leaving only 30 kilos behind as he gauged IZUKU's build. You should be okay with this. You're not unfit by any means. What if I can't even lift that? Then we'll lower it some more. IZUKU, there's no shame. Whatever feels comfortable for you is what you should start with. Okay, thank you. He gulped nervously before mimicking the way KATSUKI's hands had gripped the handles, and instantly tugged them downward. Oh, I did it? Yes, you did. Holy shit, I'm so strong. How about you do more than one rep? Oh, right, yeah. He cleared his throat before continuing, but after just a few more pulls he could feel his shoulders burning and his chest tightening. Control your breathing better. You're holding your breath too much. Breathe in before you pull and breathe out while you're releasing. Here, look, in, and now steadily out. He watched as IZUKU listened to his instructions and instantly became steadier, reaching almost 20 reps on the machine before he sighed and let go of the handles. Oh man, that burns. You did really good though, especially for your first time. He praised and held out a hand to help IZUKU stand up. The freckled man smiled and accepted it bashfully. It was rare to hear a genuine compliment from KATSUKI. You wanna try squats? Didn't we already do those over there? With a weight donut. Oh, sure. It's not gonna break my back though, right? What do you take me for? I obviously wouldn't let that happen. Right. What, you don't trust me? Of course I do. I'm just nervous you'll think I'm stronger than I actually am. You'll be fine. I'll show you first again. He loaded the bar with weights, and the more he added the further IZUKU's jaw was dropping. You're just showing off now. Don't break your own back. I'm just adding my usual amount, IZUKU. I'm not about to risk my own safety when I'm supposed to be looking after you. This is your usual? Isn't that 180 kilos? About that, yeah. Squats are way easier than the shoulder press. You're using the biggest muscles in your body. Don't get me wrong. I'll probably only manage 10 reps without breaking a sweat. Without breaking a sweat? You're funny. He teased before unhooking the bar and getting into position. Starting out his squats with confidence, he made it look so easy. Watch my form. You think I could possibly be looking at anything else right now? What's that supposed to mean? He huffed out between reps, his eyes flicking over to IZUKU as his cheeks went a little pink. You're like a beast right now. It's really hot. What? He stumbled a little and almost broke form, making him stand up and hook the bar back onto the machine, looking at IZUKU incredulously. What? You almost messed me up? Because I called you hot? Yes, you know I'm not gonna go easy on you now. What? But I was just complimenting you? We're here 'cause you wanted to work out, not flirt. I can do both. Just stand there. KATSUKI was finding it increasingly difficult to play off IZUKU's behavior as just playful jokes and teasing, but no matter how unbelievable it became, he knew he still had to maintain a professional boundary between them. He took off enough weights to get it down to 55 kilos. He knew 45 would have likely been most comfortable and easier on IZUKU, but he decided he wanted to push him. Wait, isn't that still too much? You can do it. You just want me to suffer? I'm your bodyguard, IZUKU. It's literally my job to make sure that doesn't happen. That's such an easy excuse to get me to believe you. Bend your knees slightly and reach back to hold the bar. We're seriously doing this? Yes, look at me. IZUKU looked up into his eyes and KATSUKI managed to maintain the eye contact with determination. I've got you, alright. Alright. Keep your feet shoulder width apart, and remember to breathe, same as before. Ready? IZUKU nodded and KATSUKI circled behind him, steadying the bar with one hand as IZUKU unhooked it, his other hand brushing across his back to keep him still as he adjusted to the weight, before he let go and moved back round to the front. Okay, maybe. KATSUKI couldn't help exhaling a sort of laugh, making IZUKU shoot a glare up at him before slowly squatting down, taking a breath, and pushing to stand back up. Not so bad, right? I only did one. I already learned not to get comfortable that fast. You're good. He continued to reassure the freckled man as he slowly and a little shakily continued to squat the weight. He was doing good, and KATSUKI kind of lost himself in the personal trainer role as he watched intently, reaching out every so often to help keep IZUKU steady, until he accidentally glanced at the man's behind as he lowered himself, making him instantly look away in shame and feel his face heat up as the image had already burned itself into his brain. Fuck. What? What's wrong? Oh, nothing. Don't panic. Too late. Help. He froze on the spot and KATSUKI lunged forward to grab the bar and lift it back into place, letting IZUKU finally let go and shake his shoulders out. Why'd you do that? Were you seriously trying to get back at me? I was doing so good. You were? Sorry, I got distracted for a moment and then what the heck distracted you in this empty room? Just my own mind, you know, lost in thought. I dunno, it's totally my bad. I'm super achy now too. Hey, you wanted this, and you have done well for your first time doing stuff like this. We should just finish it out with some running and then go home. I'm good at running. Okay, sounds good. They ran on treadmills side by side for about 45 minutes, until they were both dripping sweat and felt ready to call it. KATSUKI would have liked to do a little more weight training, but today was about IZUKU, so he didn't mind. God, I can't wait to get home and shower. You didn't want a shower here? Oh, right, I forgot gyms have showers. I mean, if there does happen to be fans waiting for you outside, I'm not sure you want a photo of your massive sweat stains circling the internet. Hey, what the hell, are you saying I don't look totally hot right now? You stink too. Well, so do you? Exactly, I'd like to shower. You're so mean to me. I just went out of my way to be your personal trainer for no reason, and I'm mean to you? Alright, so maybe you're actually really good to me. That's what I thought. Luckily the upstairs gym did have its own shower block, so the two of them headed in and KATSUKI unzipped the bag he'd brought, pulling out 2 towels and 2 fresh outfits, tossing half to IZUKU as he gasped. I get to wear your clothes? Well, you didn't bring any of your own, did you? And I figured you wouldn't, so you're lucky I came prepared. You're the best. He grinned and put his stuff just outside one of the shower cubicles, before heading in and closing the curtain. KATSUKI did the same and he heard the water start running beside him, making him suddenly all too aware of the fact IZUKU was naked in there. Fuck, I didn't think about this part. Despite the thought lingering in his mind, he somehow managed to complete his shower without any awkward incidents, getting dry and dressed just in time to step out and see IZUKU rubbing his damp hair with the towel. They caught eyes in the mirror and IZUKU turned to him with a smile, making KATSUKI suck in a breath and tear his eyes away from the image of the man in his own clothes. They were oversized on him, and it was way too fucking domestic. You ready to head out? Just put your stuff in the bag. They packed up and headed back downstairs. KATSUKI led the way this time as he was cautious of a swarm waiting for them outside, but surprisingly it was all quiet as they left. I told you we'd be fine. Better to be safe than sorry. You know, I think we should celebrate when we get home. Celebrate what? Squats? Me getting the new role, obviously. Oh, right, I already forgot about that. Wow, it's a big deal. Yeah, I'm happy for you. No, you're not. I'll celebrate with you? What were you thinking? That you'd cook a fancy dinner and I could open the fancy wine Mirko-san got me for my birthday this year. Great, so I'll be babysitting you while you're drunk. It's not babysitting? What did you want to eat? I dunno, like steak, or something. That's fancy, right? Sure, I'll cook some steak. IZUKU was overly excited the rest of the journey back to his place, but his enthusiasm hardly bothered KATSUKI anymore. He'd grown used to it, so he still managed to prepare and cook the fancy steaks IZUKU had requested even as the hyperactive man rambled on about anything and everything while he worked. Hey, someone took a photo of us leaving the gym. Fans are going berserk again. Wonderful. We look good. I feel like my arms look strong, but then they also look kinda tiny cause I'm wearing your huge shirt. Shoulda brought your own. Wait, how do they even know it's yours? They're all saying I'm wearing your clothes. How would they know? Well, if you've never worn them before and they look big on you, I feel like it's a pretty reasonable conclusion to make. Humph, they're all coming up with crazy theories like you were staring at my ass while I did squats. What? That's ridiculous. Well, yeah, you were in front of me, well, except a couple times with the weights, but you didn't do that, right? Obviously not. I was just spotting you to make sure you were stable. Of course. Are they making any theories about you drooling over my biceps? I didn't do that. I never said you did. Well, they aren't saying I did either. Maybe I'll check their theories for myself later. Is the food ready yet? Actually, yes. No thanks to you. You said you didn't want help, 'cause you'd only have gotten in the way. IZUKU didn't have a snarky comeback for that one. He merely came round the counter to go get the bottle of wine and 2 fancy glasses, before heading out the kitchen to the dining table and waiting for KATSUKI. Did that actually offend him? I was mostly kidding. Well, no, I guess it was the truth. Maybe it was a little harsh though. He'll get over it, I'm sure. He brushed it off as he dished up the food, making his way out to the dining room to set the table and sit opposite IZUKU, instantly noticing the full wine glass in his place and the half-full one in the freckled man's hand. You drank half a glass before I even brought the food out? No, I just filled yours up more than mine. What? Why? 'Cause I figured you'd be nicer to me when you're drunk. Seriously? You're trying to get me drunk on the job. Ugh, can we just pretend you don't work for me, just tonight? We're just 2 guys celebrating my achievement? Well, if you wanted that, why didn't you invite one of your friends? How long have you been working for me now? Like a month? Have I ever once mentioned a single friend's name to you? I guess not, no. 'Cause I don't have any. My mom is probably my best friend. I would consider Ida a friend, but he's literally my assistant. I would have liked to be friends with Yuruka-san, but that's practically impossible. So I guess I just wanted to pretend you were my friend for tonight. Okay. Should we invent a whole backstory or what? Wait, really? Well, you want it to be believable, right? Hehe. How about, we met in university. I did performing arts, of course. What about you? I didn't go to university. Ugh, but if you did, then what would your major be? I dunno. You did some sort of sport major. I dunno any of those. Sure, that would explain the muscles. We met because you came to watch a show I put on. I would never do that. What if you came to watch a match I was in? I would never watch sport either. Then we met at a party. Oh, fun. Did we have a one-night stand? What? No? Why not? 'Cause that would super complicate the relationship. Would it though? Or would it just add this super fun tension? Oh my god, whatever you want. You're the actor. You write the script. That is not how that works. I don't think I could ever write a movie. Based off how this has gone, absolutely not. Hey, it's not that bad. It's a little cliché and overdone, but thank you for saying you'd pretend for me. Don't get all sappy now. Keep eating your steak. That's the real celebration. You haven't even touched the wine yet. Please try it, it's super tasty. I don't really like wine. Oh, come on, you've not tried this one. It's expensive and fancy. KATSUKI rolled his eyes but put his cutlery down to lift the wine glass to his lips, taking a sip and savoring the flavor. Fine, it's not bad. You're downplaying it. Whatever, it's nice. Told you. He boasted smugly before taking another sip of his own and then continuing to eat. Before long, IZUKU's glass was empty and he was refilling it immediately. Meanwhile, KATSUKI had barely drank at all. It seemed IZUKU's tactic to get him drunk was backfiring. You know, I hope my co-star is hot. In the new series? 'Cause if he's not hot, then how can I pretend I love him, you know? Isn't that really shallow? I guess, but falling in love with someone not super hot in real life is different, 'cause you actually get to know them and love them for who they are. If I'm just pretending, then how can I pretend to fall in love with a personality that isn't real? You're a good actor, you'll figure it out. If you were my co-star, it'd be easy. What? That's ridiculous, I could never act. But everyone already thinks I'm in love with you anyway, and I was never even acting at all. That's just 'cause your fans think we look good together. Ugh, they're so smart, I love my fans so much. IZUKU, you've only drunk 1 glass of wine, how are you this tipsy already? I drank 1 before you brought the food out too. Sigh, great, this is your last one, alright. Whatever you say, sir. KATSUKI almost choked on his steak. Absolutely none of that. Why not? I like making you blush. You're not thinking straight. 'Cause I'm bi. What? Oh. KATSUKI paused and couldn't hold back the laugh that escaped him as he shook his head. That's so dumb. I'm so funny. Maybe a little bit. I like your laugh. I don't laugh much. You should laugh more. Guess you'll have to be funnier. Why did the chicken cross the road? What, you're just gonna do a chicken joke? Answer the question. Alright, I dunno, why? To get to the shops. Did you find that funny? IZUKU, that wasn't even a joke. So did you find it funny? No. Neither did the chicken, cause the shops were closed. Oh come on, that was hilarious. Remind me never to let you drink around me again. I'll forget. True. Do you think that if we actually met in university at a party and got kinda wasted, that we maybe would have had a one-night stand? What kinda question is that? I'm just curious. I think we would have. Well, why? Cause I would have thought you were really hot and flirted with you all night. I guess I'm just saying I hope I could have convinced you. I'm pretty convincing, you know. I know you are. So do you think we would have? I dunno. Maybe. Maybe? Probably? I already told you I kinda got around in my early 20s. Let's just say, I wouldn't have turned you down. Cool. How is that cool? Cause now it's more believable, so the story works better in my head. You're really imagining that made-up timeline? Why not? It's fun. He's drunk, KATSUKI. Don't read into it. You still work for him. Don't fuck it up. He took another mouthful of food before slowly looking back up, realizing IZUKU was the quietest he'd been all evening, but it was a mistake. He felt his face heating up as he looked at the man opposite him. IZUKU's drowsy eyes were glued to him. His cheeks were rosy as he rested on his hand, his glossy lips upturned gently in the corners. He'd never had another person look at him like that. It felt cartoonish, like his pupils could turn into hearts at any second. IZUKU. I don't want to cut your celebration short or anything, but I think I should head home. The moment the words left his lips, IZUKU sat up straighter, instantly panicking as his eyes widened and sparkled. What? But, you can't drive. I hardly drank any wine at all, look. But why? I filled it for you. You wanted to get me drunk so I couldn't drive home? Well, that sounds fucked up when you say it like that. I didn't have any nefarious plans. I wanted you to stay the night. He was stumbling over his words as they began to slur together a little. It didn't help that he was suddenly getting emotional. Why didn't you just ask? Cause I thought you'd say no. I mean, I just don't think it's a good idea for me to be here while you're like this. I'm not that bad. I won't be annoying, I swear. It's not about being annoying, IZUKU. Then why? I'm sorry. Sigh. Fuck. Fine, don't worry. I'll stay the night, and you don't have to get me drunk. Really? Yes, so put the puppy eyes away. I don't mean to, I'm just an emotional drunk. How about we put the wine away? You're done eating, yeah? Can we watch a movie? Only if you stop looking at me like that. Sorry? He panicked and slapped his hands to his face, covering it completely so KATSUKI didn't have to see him, and he instantly had to stifle his laughter. Damn it, IZUKU, why do you have to be so cute? I'm sorry? He spoke muffled into his hands, and KATSUKI rolled his eyes, collecting their plates and glasses to take them and the wine bottle back to the kitchen. When he returned, IZUKU still had his hands over his face. Come on, you wanna watch a movie? Can you lead the way? IZUKU, you'll need to open your eyes to watch the movie. Oh, right, of course. Oh god, I swear I'm not that drunk, I'm just really stupid and embarrassed. I got you some water, it'll help sober you up while we watch. Okay. They sat on the couch and IZUKU sipped on his water while KATSUKI turned on the TV, scrolling through the streaming site to find something interesting. Can we watch Distant Hearts? What? I'd really rather not. Why? I promise I'm really good in it. I'm sure you are, sunshine, but it's just not my type of movie. Is it cause I kiss a girl in it? You're gay, you don't want to see the heterosexuals. IZUKU, I promise you that's not it at all. You just hate love. Oh, is it cause of Itsuki? KATSUKI's heart jumped in his chest and he flinched. He had to take a deep breath before choosing how to answer that question. I don't hate love, I just prefer to watch action movies, that's all. Itsuki sang cool rock music, right? It's not really my type, but I guess you liked it a bunch. Why are you asking about him? Cause you like him a lot? Liked. Past tense. He's dead, IZUKU, and I don't like thinking about it. Right? Sorry, I thought that maybe. Can you just pick a movie? What about a spooky movie? It is about to be October? Sure, you can handle horror? Kinda, sure. Alright then, this one looks interesting. He played the movie and finally thought the night would fizzle to peace and quiet, but of course IZUKU was one of those people that asked pointless questions and stated the obvious all throughout the movie. Why would she go in there? I dunno, cause she's stupid? Oh my god, what was that? Was that the monster? Probably. I'm scared. I can tell. The movie turned out to be not all that scary to Katsuki, but IZUKU had pretty quickly latched onto his arm somewhere near the start of its runtime and had only inched closer to him with every jump scare, until by the time the movie was over there wasn't any space between them at all. IZUKU had even begun hiding his face in Katsuki's arm toward the end, and the blonde man actually felt a little bad. That was so scary. Oh come on, it really wasn't that bad. Oh my god, my heart is racing. Good thing it's time for bed then. What? I can't go to sleep like this. Just leave a light on if you're that worried. You can't leave me on my own after that, please. IZUKU, you already convinced me to stay the night, it's fine. No, but I'm still gonna be alone in my room. You're asking me to stay in your room? Please? I'm genuinely scared, I don't wanna be alone. Katsuki took one look into those pleading eyes again and felt his stomach twist into a knot. There was no way he could stay in IZUKU's room. You know I can't do that. Why not? Please Katsuki, I need you. Fuck. He sighed deeply, almost giving in, before moving to pull his arm out of IZUKU's grasp. But the freckled man was desperate, refusing to let go as he was instead dragged closer and instantly stumbled over his own feet. Katsuki panicked, eyes widening as he reached his hands out to grasp IZUKU's torso as he fell, catching him before he could hit the ground. God, are you crazy? Why can you never take no? His breath hitched as he froze in place, hands instinctively gripping IZUKU's back tighter as the man had pulled himself up to plant a kiss to Katsuki's lips, leaning down again just a few moments after. He blinked as he looked down into his glossy eyes, gulping thickly as his mind went blank, not a single thought beyond the man in his arms and the lingering feeling of his soft lips. Before his mind could begin to think rationally, IZUKU was already pulling himself in close yet again, and as their lips connected the second time, Katsuki couldn't hold back. He reciprocated eagerly, letting their mouths fold together as his arms pulled the man ever closer, lifting him upright as his hand traveled beneath his shirt, feeling his warm skin against his fingers. It quickly became messy, IZUKU gasping into Katsuki's mouth as his fingers tangled in the taller man's hair, feeling his body being gripped tight and held close, almost losing his footing as Katsuki practically devoured him. They were desperate, losing their breaths as their bodies pressed together completely. IZUKU knew his legs were shaking. It wouldn't be long before they gave way, and it seemed as though Katsuki noticed too as he shuffled them back to the couch. But the moment IZUKU's legs hit the cushions and he moved to take a seat, desperately clinging to Katsuki as to bring him down with him, it was then that the blonde man let him go and stepped back. What? Why'd you stop? He panted breathlessly, looking up at him in confusion as Katsuki ran a hand through his hair and brought the other up to his mouth, eyes blown wide with disbelief. Fuck, what have I done? What do you mean? You're drunk and being ridiculously impulsive right now. I should have never even entertained this, I'm sorry. No? IZUKU frantically stood up, still unsteady as he reached out to grasp Katsuki's arms, but the bigger man grabbed him first, keeping him away. I don't accept your apology? What? There's nothing to apologize for. IZUKU, stop it. No, that wasn't a mistake. You need to go to bed, and I need to go home. You're leaving? Yes. But. No, but nothing. Please, just get some sleep and forget about this. I won't forget. You're drunk. I'll remember. Then we'll deal with it Thursday. Oh, I'm not seeing you till then. I forgot. I'm gonna go now, alright? IZUKU didn't answer. He merely cast his gaze down at the ground between them, and Katsuki hesitantly let go of his arms to take another step back. I'm sorry, get some sleep, IZUKU. He spoke one last time before turning to leave, and IZUKU stood there until he heard his front door close, before simply slumping down on the couch behind himself. He was so embarrassed, he'd spent the entire afternoon doing nothing but throwing himself at the man who worked for him, so desperate for his attention, his affection. Katsuki waited out front for longer than he'd care to admit, hesitating, fighting the internal parts of himself that felt the need to go back in, to take IZUKU to bed and put the painkillers he knew he'd need the next morning on his nightstand. But eventually he left, knowing that if he stepped foot back inside he likely wouldn't be able to leave again. The next few days were quiet, almost insufferably so. IZUKU had no plans, therefore Katsuki too had no plans. He was left on his own to deal with his overactive mind, desperately trying to distract himself so his brain would stop forcing him to relive the kiss they shared over and over. But no matter what he did, The feeling of IZUKU's soft lips against his own haunted him at random points throughout the days. His ears would tingle with the sound of IZUKU's heavy breaths, and images of his flushed face and hooded eyes staring up at him from the couch flashed through his mind. When Thursday finally rolled around, he was praying that IZUKU truly had been drunk enough to forget all about it. In fact, he was quite literally mumbling said prayers to himself as he stood on the man's front doorstep. But all hope he had was instantly crushed as IZUKU finally swung his front door open to reveal a look of complete and utter shock on his face. "Oh, you didn't quit? Wah, shit, you remember?" They stared at each other in silence for a moment too long, giving KATSUKI the opportunity to actually watch the redness blossoming on IZUKU's face. I am so sorry for how I acted before. I know you're always keeping a very clear professional boundary between us because this is literally your job, but I totally disrespected that. You already opened up to me about your past experiences with exactly that sort of thing, and I was just being so selfish, and I just should have never even thought to push that boundary. I'm so sorry." IZUKU's body folded at a perfect 90-degree angle, bowing so earnestly that it had KATSUKI's feet shuffling back a little in shock. You don't have to do all that, really, just forget about it. I was honestly hoping you already had. I told you I wouldn't. I really wasn't even that drunk," he exclaimed confidently before almost instantly shrinking down in realization and beginning to backpedal. But I definitely wasn't thinking rationally. I'm not the sort of person who would usually make impulsive moves like that. In fact, I don't think I've initiated a kiss with anyone since my prom date in high school, so IZUKU, please, we need to get going or you'll be late. Oh, right. So you really are going to keep being my bodyguard, even though I didn't forget? Yeah, of course, I'm not quitting on you, sunshine, he practically mumbled, feeling his own cheeks heat up as he subconsciously let that stupid nickname slip. But before IZUKU could look too close or even get out a response, he was already heading back to the car and opening the passenger door. "Let's go." Okay. IZUKU managed to stay quiet for the journey to the set. He was so relieved to see KATSUKI. He'd spent the last few days dreading the moment his doorbell rang this morning, expecting to open it and see a stranger standing there. So despite all his unease and embarrassment after what he'd done, he couldn't help just feeling giddy now that he was back in KATSUKI's car. When they arrived to the set, KATSUKI was surprised to see the entrance completely devoid of paparazzi and fans. The production crew must have managed to keep the ins and outs of this project secret so far. "Do not step foot out the car without your hood and sunglasses. Don't you think I just look more suspicious wearing sunglasses in October? No, it's bright out, and it hides your face. Surely you also need to hide your appearance at this point. Any fan of mine crazy enough to flood to wherever I am definitely knows who you are." Shit, alright, hang on. He reached to the back of his car to grab a cap and sunglasses of his own. He didn't have a hoodie, but this would have to do. "Good enough, let's just get in there quickly." KATSUKI sighed but nodded, stepping out the car before going round to open IZUKU's door and hurriedly lead him into the building. He'd been given instructions on where to go and luckily didn't get lost anywhere inside. Before they finally reached the large open room with a few film sets pre-built inside. "IZUKU, come over here, let me introduce you to everyone." "Oh, right." KATSUKI watched him go from a distance. Moments like this where he wasn't necessarily needed gave him too much time alone with his thoughts, but despite trying to keep his brain occupied with whatever IZUKU was doing in that moment, it instead drifted to other memories of the freckled man, specifically the kiss they shared. "He really thought I would quit. I guess most people would in that situation, but he was drunk, and besides, I literally fucking reciprocated like an idiot, so if anything it's surprising he didn't fire me." Although, even when he was apologizing, he never said he regretted it, or that it was a mistake. He just felt bad about crossing boundaries. He really did want to kiss me. He wasn't just shit-faced drunk, and I clearly wanted to kiss him too. Damn it, this is messy, but it's not like it has to be anything serious, or anything at all. We can be professional adults. Just as he was shaking away his thoughts and concentrating on IZUKU again, everyone's attention turned to the door as another man entered. He seemed to be around KATSUKI's age by his best guess, tall, deep chocolate hair, sharp eyes. He was definitely handsome, but KATSUKI's eyes widened as IZUKU audibly gasped while looking at him. "Oh my god, Shindo-kun, I am a huge fan. There's no way, you're working on this series too? IZUKU-han, don't scare the famous man away. Haha, it's all good, I'm super excited to work with you too. You know who I am? Of course I do. You're an absolute star in Distant Hearts. and once they told me you'd be the other lead, I absolutely couldn't turn this role down. It's a pleasure to meet you, IZUKU. Sorry I didn't warn you, kid. This reaction is priceless. He's gonna be your love interest. KATSUKI frowned as IZUKU's face flushed red and he began stammering even more nervously. Then he felt his blood begin to boil as the handsome jackass laughed and placed a hand on IZUKU's shoulder, getting way too close for his liking. Please, there's no need to be shy. I'm really looking forward to working with you. He didn't even fully realize it, but KATSUKI had begun to move closer from his position across the room, whether he was trying to make his presence known or just get a better spot to hear and see what was going on. He knew it wasn't because he wanted to do his job better, he was feeling jealous. But regardless of how he was feeling, all he could do was watch from the side as the director handed both actors a small script for them to begin reading and practicing. Of course, we won't be doing anything too serious today. This is just for you to get a feel for your characters and how you'll choose to portray them. KATSUKI became kind of invested watching IZUKU, listening to him read the same line over and over with the most minute changes in expression or intonation. It turns out he really was a great actor, and KATSUKI was captivated. Until they began reading their lines together. You're gonna burn a hole through that page if you keep glaring at it. I'm not glaring, I'm concentrating, aggressively. IZUKU cracked a smile and held his hand out toward the brunette. Eat, your brain's malfunctioning. Shindo hesitated and looked from his hand to his eyes, before sighing and taking the imaginary food IZUKU was holding out to him. KATSUKI felt his heart thump harder as there was a beat of silence, just both actors looking at one another with such real emotions. He could tell without even seeing the script that at this point in the series these two characters would clearly have underlying feelings for one another. You know, you don't have to stay, it's late. Yeah, well, you study better when I'm here to bully you into it. Shindo rolled his eyes but looked at IZUKU with such a soft expression, eyes filled with adoration as he spoke his final line. Yeah, thanks. Of course, anytime. They held the look for a moment longer, before IZUKU turned away and happened to catch eyes with KATSUKI. The poor man reeled back in shock, looking almost frightened, and that's when KATSUKI blinked and softened his features, realizing that he had been quite literally glaring daggers in their direction that whole time. That was incredible. The tension was palpable, and it was just a first read-through on an empty set. You two are going to create absolute magic? Thank you. It's great to have such an amazing actor to bounce off. I've watched Distant Hearts a few times now, but it still didn't do justice to seeing you at work right in front of me. Oh, no, you're just flattering me. I was nervous that whole time. I definitely wasn't doing my best. Well, if that's not your best, then I can't wait to start the real thing. Fucking flirt. Yeah, you were really great too. I'm looking forward to it. KATSUKI watched the two men shake hands, and he could feel his face contorting into that same glare. It was then that he realized how insufferable his days were going to be if he had to keep coming here to watch this unfold. IZUKU, do you have a minute? Maybe. Oh, who's this? My bodyguard? Excuse me, Nemuri-san? Yes, IZUKU. Could I have a minute? Of course. I'll show Shindo some of our sets. Thank you. He bowed politely before turning back to KATSUKI, only to see he and Shindo were having some sort of glare-off. I didn't think bodyguards would be allowed in here. Has he signed any paperwork to state that he won't spread any information about the series? Of course I have. Though I still don't see the need for a bodyguard on a set like this. There's guards posted at the entrance anyway. KATSUKI, what was it you needed? To talk to you. Right. About what? Shindo dear, won't you come and see this wonderful set our designers made? Of course. KATSUKI continued glaring at the back of the man's head as he walked away. It wasn't until IZUKU said his name again that he finally looked down at him. What the heck was that about? Well, he sure is pleasant, huh? Yes, actually he is. What did you want? I'm supposed to be working. Honestly, I was going to ask how you'd feel about me doing my job from outside in future. What? You don't want to be in here? But Mirko-san said you specifically asked for the papers so that you could be in here? That asshole pisses me off, but I changed my mind after talking to him. Don't worry about it. I'll stay in here. Do you know him or something? No, he just has really bad vibes. Vibes? Are you 15? What? Did you not hear him just now? He was trying to get rid of me? You decided you wanted to leave before that happened, otherwise you wouldn't have called me over. That's because, fuck. I don't understand. It's difficult, okay? What is? Watching you act all lovey-dovey with that guy. What? Katsuki couldn't bring himself to say anything else. That was more than enough. He just outright admitted his jealousy, which in turn led to the admission that he clearly felt some type of way about IZUKU, and he didn't have to look at the man to tell IZUKU was figuring all that out. I mean, I'm only acting. You were blushing the moment you saw him. I'm a big fan of his work. He's like my idol. I used to watch his movies and wish I could be an actor like him. Katsuki looked down past his crossed arms at the way IZUKU was wringing his hands together and barely able to look up at him with his rosy cheeks. Where'd all your usual confidence go? Well, it kinda seems like you're telling me you're romantically interested in me, and I know I kissed you, but I guess I wasn't really expecting you to ever. I kissed you back, and I wasn't drunk at all. He stated it so matter-of-factly, and IZUKU merely stared up at him as his face slowly flushed a darker shade of red. Right. I guess I just blamed myself for that too, like you felt pressured to or something. I wanted to. Katsuki, sorry? I feel like I've fucking lost my mind. Seeing you look at him like that just fucked me up. I'm an actor. I'm gonna have to pretend I'm in love with him. You understand that, right? Yeah, I know, but I can guarantee you there'll be kiss scenes in this show, like probably a lot. Fuck, I know. That bothers you? Yes, yeah, it bothers me. Does that bother you? Does it bothering you bother me? Yeah, I mean, I am supposed to do my job, and feeling bad about doing it might make it a little harder, I guess. You'd feel bad about making you jealous? Obviously, but it's not like I have any right to be jealous. IZUKU, we need you back over here now. Alright, coming? God, I'm sorry. I'm really being pathetic right now. We can talk more about this when I'm done, okay? Right. He looked away in embarrassment as IZUKU sighed and hesitantly turned to head back to the crew, leaving Katsuki to slump against a wall with his head in his hands, trying to hide his face that he was sure must be red at this point. I'm such a fucking idiot. End of part 3. Agshtjotmub. God, I'm so mad at myself. I love this concept and this version of Bodyguard so much, but the fact I took such long gaps between writing because of my stupid health struggles just means that this feels super disjointed to me. I've reread the previous parts so many times and made sure to keep notes for myself so I didn't forget things, but I do worry that you guys will feel how all over the place this part is. I really didn't mean for it to be, and I do hope that you're still enjoying the story. There will definitely only be one more part before this ends. I'm sorry it's gone on so long, but yeah, I just really hope you don't hate it at this point. Also sorry I feel like I'm always complaining and sob-storying about myself lately. I do seriously appreciate all your support, it means the world to me. I love you guys so much. Please do let me know what you think of this story in the comments, and if you want me to include anything specific in the final part. I already have one major thing I'll be including, but other than that I've still gotta kinda plan it out. Thank you as always for watching, and I pray to the universe that I can get the final part done on time.